need to find. Testing, testing. She, oh, she ain't. Oh, yes. But it feels like a million days. This ain't home where you go. But I need to give my heart a break. You only been gone for a time. But it feels like a million days. This ain't home where you go. Good morning, and welcome to another episode of Chip in the Mornings. That song that you were actually listening to is a song from an album that I have coming out just before the end of the year. The song of this track, the title of this track is entitled It Was Time, but the name of the project is entitled The Underdog's Tale. I'm so excited to share what I believe is going to be an album that brings back that good old R&B. I'm going to be sharing a couple of these tracks with you throughout our time together this morning. We've got a great show for you, and I'm so excited that you are with us. Keep in mind that our lines are always open. You see it there on the screen. So if you will, ma'am and sir, give us a call at any time if you feel as though the conversations that we are having or something that is engaging to you. What are we talking about today? You know, I've been doing my best to stay focused throughout this season, and really get ready for next year. I'm so excited about all the great things that we're going to be able to do next year because of the foundation that we're setting right now. But we're going to talk about a couple of things. This has been a story that has come across my timeline, and quite frankly, it's been a topic of conversation in some of the group chats that I have. I have a good friend of mine, known him for many years, from Minnesota. Shout out to Mr. Manny out there in Minnesota. And so I love to poke fun at him on different topics. But we've got to delve into what they're talking about in Minnesota as far as the corruption schemes. Or I just kind of want to know what you think. I want to know what you think about those. I want to know what you think about what you've been hearing so far regarding the different challenges that people are facing out there. We're going to talk about that. I also want to talk today a little bit about our friend and mayor elect Mary Sheffield. You know, since we've been doing some coverage on Mary Sheffield, maybe I should pull a picture of her up here. I'm gonna ask you a question. Let me put this up here real quick. Let me put this on you. Okay. See, while I'm doing what I'm doing, I'm going to play this track for you. It's a song that I'm so excited about. It's a song entitled Just to See Another. It's on the upcoming project that I have coming out entitled The Underdog's Tale. It's going to be released before the end of the year. I'm so excited about it. I'm going to share it with you while I pull up a couple of these graphics as we really get into the meat and potatoes of our show this morning. This song is entitled Just to See Another. If you're looking for a way to start this brand new day, I think that you should start by saying thanks. I'm so glad to be alive, that the God is on my side. The last thing that I will do is complain. I tell you I'm grateful, I'm grateful, I'm grateful, I'm grateful. I'm grateful just to see another day. I tell you I'm grateful, I'm grateful, I'm grateful, I'm grateful. Grateful just to see another day. Grateful just to see another. I want to ask you all this question this morning. I love this song so much. All right, let's get into the second verse. Before we get into this story, I want to ask you this question. If it never takes all night before I lay my head down now for say, I love this song. I'm grateful for my friends and every single win that I've had with you along the way. I tell you I'm grateful, I'm grateful, I'm grateful, I'm grateful. All right. Grateful just to see another day. Thank you so much for watching Chip in the Mornings. The song that you were listening to a moment ago is entitled Just to See Another. It's a single on the upcoming project we have coming out before the end of the year entitled The Underdog's Tale. You know, I've been involving myself more in the political landscape of Detroit, Metro Detroit, Michigan. I guess I'm just kind of in that part of life, I guess you can say. I say this all the time. Like whenever you look at like social media, for example, I think social media is the example of you being able to see like where you are and where everyone in life is, right? And so there are moments in time, and AO and I were talking about this. I gotta get some people invited into this chat here in just a moment, but AO and I were talking this morning, and we were just talking about the fact that it's just time. You know what I mean? Like for certain things in life, it's just time. It's just time to be an adult. It's just time to be concerned and worried about adult things and what you're going to leave to your children and what type of legacy you're going to have, right? And what real impact you've had so far, right? So with that being said, I don't make any apologies for delving into these political discussions because we're raising children here. You know what I mean? Like this is a real deal to us, and the way our cities are governed, it's make or break. It's make or break. And I want to ask a question because it's been a thing that maybe or maybe not, and I guess this is the discussion that we're going to have this morning. It's about the mayor-elect, and you know something has come to my attention, and I'm a theorist. I'm a theorist. I love theory. I love this idea of, developing a frame of thought and then pursuing the frame of thought and being honest within myself as to whether I'm right or wrong, right? And so what I'm saying more specifically as it pertains to the discussion that we're having is we've selected the next mayor. We know who the mayor is going to be. Now the question is, how is the mayor going to be? How is the mayor going to be? And we understand that elections, and I know this personally because I ran for office. I wasn't successful, but to God be the glory because I learned a lot of wonderful things. You know, being a candidate is different than being a elected official, and that's different from being someone who is getting ready to come into elected office. I think it's very, very important that you master all of these phases, because these phases, they work in harmony, if you will. They work together collaboratively to move your mission and to move your agenda forward. And Mary Sheffield has been immaculate in her messaging. I've said that. I'm a spade to spade type of guy. You know what I mean? I can say when you're right. I can say when you're wrong. And she has been very, very crisp in her messaging. But even in the consistency of her messaging, there are questions that are beginning to arise. And so I want to pose them to you in all fairness. I voted for Mary Sheffield, and I don't make any apologies about that. I voted for her, and I don't apologize for it because I felt as though she was the best fit for the timing of our city. But
Yet and still, I'll say in the same breath that Pastor Kinlock is an immaculate pastor, a great guy. I went to his church the other day at breakfast, a men's breakfast. And his temperament is, he has the type of temperament you need in office, but does he have the, political prowess, the connections? Like, I guess what I'm saying as it pertains to like who we chose as mayor is, I can't see, I couldn't see Kinlock bringing the city to where it needed to be brought to in this season. And that's a theory. That's not a fact because I'm saying it on a microphone in front of a camera. You know that, right? It's a theory. And so now that time has passed, we're in a different cycle. We're in a different part of this, the story of the city, if you will, right? We're in a different place. So now we've changed our perspective from who should we pick to what are we going to get out of who we picked? That's the question. And it's a question that everyone should answer if they are an elected official. I want to get to my question really quickly here. Sometimes I have a habit of, establishing the premise, on which I want to speak. And I establish the premise so much that I don't speak about it. My question to you is, and I guess my question is to Mary, or her team or whomever. I've noticed this thing about Mary Sheffield, and it's a theory. It's not a fact. It's a theory. My theory is that when she talks to young black people, it's about rap. It's about the culture. It's about, being mentioned by Big Sean in a song. It's you know what I mean? Like, but when you are talking to other people who are not black, you're talking about contracts and procurement and right, legislative, philosophical, and so the theory that I am falling into, and I don't want to fall into it because I voted for Mary Sheffield. I'm asking myself the question now: if you're going to have the legislative conversation with the black people in Detroit, or if you're only going to talk to us about our favorite rapper in Cash Doll. That's the question that we're beginning to ask now. Because the messaging is giving celebrity mayor. The messaging is giving, you're going to talk to us about rap and talk to them about contracts. And so I guess I'll have to invite her on to to Chip in the Mornings, mayor-elect, so that we can really get into the nitty-gritty of how are you going to move your agenda forward? Like, now is the time for you to begin to, quite frankly, massage the public to be prepared for your agenda. This is the time for you to be telling us and to be forecasting what's going to be asked of us in order to move the city forward. Right? This is the time where you should be engaging your constituents in a way that is beyond entertainment, because we voted for you because we relate to you. And so I want to start hearing her talk to us, young black men, about how we're going to move the city forward. Because when you talk to young black men, it ends up being about Cash Doll, whom I love and respect. But what I'm saying is, we are a part of what's going to move the city forward. And I believe that the African American male in the city of Detroit is an untapped resource in regards to understanding what is needed in order to move the city forward. I believe that demographic is a demographic whose talents and whose resources have not been harvested and used in the right way to create the right type of movement for our city. And so I'm challenging the mayor, who I support, who I voted for, and I did not do so reluctantly. I'm challenging you to come into these spaces, come into the urban spaces, come into places like myself, come when you come into contact with journalists and podcasters who are young and in tune with the culture. Please, ma'am, please still sprinkle in some of the meat and potatoes. We're almost kind of past vision. We're past who you like and where you like to eat. We're past what you want to do. Now we want to hear what our role is in your administration, what our role is in your tenure as mayor. Because if those conversations do not begin to be a part of what you're discussing on our platforms, then what it'll give is celebrity mayor. What it'll give is that you're going to continue to give out coats in the winter, hot dogs in the summer, have cultural references from your favorite celebrity, right? And that's what the blacks will get, right? And then the whites or the non-whites will get procurement conversations, right? And right? When it comes to us, it's like, how do you clean your record? How do you get a job? Right? And so with having a young progressive, a mayor, the one that we have, I'm hoping and imploring her and her team to engage us with the like what ordinances do we need to be pushing for? Like, what are the challenges that you faced in city council, and how can little activists like myself begin to come and do the groundwork to begin to prepare the type of ordinances that we need, right? To move that, like, that's what I don't care what type of music you listen to. We're past that. I voted for you. I want to know, how are we going to guarantee that the education our children are getting in these grade schools is better than what they've had before? That's what we should be discussing right now. And so I'm a little disappointed. And I will not say I'm having buyer's remorse. I won't say that because it's too soon. This is just a theory that I'm developing. But I want you to talk to us, the people that know rap music, the people that know, what happened between Kendrick and Drake last year. I want you to talk to us about the real stuff too. I don't want it to just be rap and when we're going to get another coat, because there's bigger fish to fry in the city of Detroit. And we want to be a part of the real conversation. We want to be a part of the legislative, deep, philosophical, religious, historic conversations that are taking place here. We don't want to just talk about rap. I just want to put that out there. We are articulate enough to have these conversations. And so let's have them. I'm excited about what her tenure represents. The Lord knows I'm excited about it. But we've got to talk about some real stuff too. You know what I mean? We want to talk about some real stuff. And so that's something that I've been noticing. I want to know what your thoughts are. Do you believe that Mary Sheffield, mayor-elect, is legit? Or do you think that she's going to just be a celeb mayor? I think that's a fair question. This also brings to my mind, let me stop for just a second here and talk to you about this guided journal I wrote. Thank you so much for watching Chip in the Mornings. I am so excited about the holiday season. I am a husband, a father, an entrepreneur. I came to the city of Detroit a few years ago. And quite frankly, I'm a little bit ashamed to say this, but one of the real reasons that I came to Detroit was to save my marriage. That was one of the real reasons. That wasn't the only reason. I had a job here, a nice job, Comerica Bank, and I was a contractor for Comerica Bank, and it was a great opportunity. And so that was one of the things that, gave me an opportunity to see Detroit as a place to come. But I want to be transparent with you. I came to Detroit to save my marriage. That's what I came here to do. And so when I got here, and shortly after turning over what I believed to be a new leaf and a new opportunity for my marriage to thrive, it fell apart. Quite frankly, it literally fell apart, and I ended up being separated for an extended period of time. And so when I came to Detroit, it was an optimistic gesture, and it was me showing that I was willing to make the sacrifice and remove myself from an environment that at the time was not conducive for me to be the husband and the father that I wanted to be, that I knew I should be. And so we came here, and I feel like the internal work that needed to be done was kind of taking place. Infidelity was the biggest challenge, if we're just being transparent. Infidelity and being faithful was the biggest challenge. But I was working through it. I was figuring it out, and I had finally got myself into the position of being a husband. Husband material is something that you work to, and it's something that you work on, right? Like, we hear this term like wife material, right? But are you husband material, right? I had to become husband material. And so when you do the work, look in the world that we live in, like the single life and the single society that we live in. So when you do the work of becoming a respectable husband, damn it, you want to stay married. Right? When you decide to play by the rules, and then your marriage falls apart shortly thereafter, what can happen, and in many cases what does happen, is a deep, dark depression. This anxiety, these emotions of darkness, because you put in the work that was necessary to fix your marriage, and your marriage fell apart. That was hard. And so after Tierney went back to Texas with my son, I had an option. I had some choices to make, I should say. Be bitter, be vindictive, and Lord knows if we're gonna keep it 100, I had a moment, but that wasn't the moments that we rested on, right? But you have a choice to make. You can be resentful, you can be angry, and you can feel as though the work that you put in was not recognized and the sacrifices that you made were not acknowledged. That is the feeling. And quite frankly, you're justified to an extent for feeling that way. But the problem that I'm noticing is that far too many people stay there. They're kind of like, I guess like stages or so, stages of grief, right? And so if you lose your marriage, you have the right to grieve, but you don't have the right to stay there. And so what I ended up doing is going on this self-reflection journey. It was real. I was in a foreign place with no other crutches. Well, I'm not going to say no other, with very other few crutches to lean on other than God and the mirror. Like, come on. What are you going to do? Are you going to be someone? Are you going to be respectable? And watch this, because as you work yourself into being husband material, there's a threshold that you cross. There's a threshold of respectability that you cross, and you don't see it. But there are certain moments in your life that, quite frankly, if you're looking within yourself, you're not very respectable. And then when you get yourself to husband material, then you are respectable within the context of what I'm speaking, obviously, right? But therein lies another issue that we face sometimes, right? How do you get yourself so upright as a man, husband, and father that you can now demand the respect that you couldn't demand prior. That's a challenge, because oftentimes whenever you make yourself up like that, you want to just run to the next person, right? But there was another challenge, the challenge of wanting a family, but not always being respectable enough to exist in this space, right? And then becoming respectable enough, but still having to wrestle and fight against the old guard, the old person that you were, right? Like when you grow, that's beautiful, but then getting people to accept the growth that you've had is another challenge. And so this was a season of self-reflection. It was a season where you really had to look in the mirror, and I really was able to examine a few things. My physical health. I was able to examine the relationships. I was able to delve more deeply into why I had a challenge being faithful. I was able to delve into just a number of other things, self-reflection moments that allowed my marriage to come back, that allowed my family to be restored. And let me tell you why that's important. Because we need to have our families restored. I'm praying for you that you have your family restored. I want your family to be restored. And so I am whole again. I am obviously far from perfect. I don't even have to say that, but I'll say it anyway. But I'm in a good space because of the journey that I went through, and most importantly, because my family is whole. I had an awakening, and I wrote this book entitled The Awakening because it is and was just that for me. It was a discovery. It was a guided journal. This is rather a guided journal for self-discovery. And what I talk about in this book is that journey, is that season in my life where I had to look in the mirror. I had to rebuild. I had to fortify myself spiritually. And even within those lessons, there were micro lessons that God would send periodically to ensure that I was learning while I was learning, right? Because you learn, and then you're given an opportunity to show what you learned. And so it was just a wonderful thing. And so I encourage you to buy this book for the young man or woman in your life. Because we all go through these seasons in life, and oftentimes what we're missing is community, mentorship, and an honest moment to reflect within self. That's what you're missing. If your life is chaotic, if your life has gotten off track, it's because you don't have any mentorship, any guidance. You don't have a real fortified space to reflect. You don't have that. And so again, I wrote this book, The Awakening. It's a guided journal for self-reflection, and I want you to purchase it as a gift. You can click that link there, and it'll take you to a place where you can order this for a friend. It's a perfect holiday gift. It's a book entitled The Awakening. It is a guided journal for self-reflection. If you are looking to improve your finances, if you are, I don't want to say improve, I want to say organize, because one of the things that I learned, and obviously, not obviously, but this book works, I'll say this, best with therapy. The therapy is so separate. But if you get this book, you will discover, and if you go through the motions, if you read this book and engage with the journal prompts, what you'll find is that what you needed in order to get your life back on track, or what you needed in order to get your life to the next level, oftentimes those are things that you already possess inside of you. But what you have to do is you have to dig within and find that and harness the energy, that comes from you walking in alignment. So again, I want you to purchase this great book I wrote entitled The Awakening. It's a guided journal for self-reflection. I think it's going to be a perfect holiday gift. I think you're going to enjoy this book. It's not a very big book. It's a very, very a great guided journal. I think you should be purchasing this. We're selling so many copies of this great book. In the year 2026, I can tell you right now, you're going to see us talking a great deal and discussing this book quite a bit. Let's take a quick little break. Let's take a break. I want to let you hear a song on the upcoming album I have coming out entitled The Underdog's Tale. I want to let you hear a piece of this here. Now, this is track number 1. This one is entitled It Was Time. Hopefully you enjoy it. We're going to switch gears here in just a minute, but and so as I was saying a moment ago, while I was having this awakening, I wrote this book, but I also wrote an album. The name of the album is entitled The Underdog's Tale. This is the first track entitled It Was Time. Listen, R&B's back. R&B's back. R&B is back. And so you'll have an opportunity to support us by streaming this album or by purchasing this book entitled The Awakening. Entitled The Awakening. It's a guided journal for self-reflection by Whitney Clark, by myself. I'm so excited and thankful that you are watching us this morning for Chip in the Mornings. Let me go talk to my friends over here for just a second.
This ain't home when you go, but I need to give my heart a break. You only been gone for an hour, but it feels like a million days. This ain't home when you go, but I need to give my heart a break. My heart, when it's stop and think, I need to find a better love. Other than you, but they won't change you. When I stop and think about it, think about because she ain't you. You only been gone for an hour, but it feels like a million. This ain't home where you go, but I need to give my heart a break. You only been gone for an hour, but it feels like a million days. This ain't home where you go, but I need to give my heart a break. That's what I need. My heart. You're always down to fuss so fine. When you is lost or wins. While you're busy keeping score, I'm gonna find the love of another. You're always down to fuss so fine. When you is lost or wins. While you're busy keeping score, I'm gonna find the love of another. You're always down to fuss so fine. When you is lost or wins. While you're busy keeping score, I'm gonna find. Let me go. Oh yes, but it feels like a million days. This ain't home when you go, but I need to give my heart a break. Only be gone for an hour, but it feels like a million days. This ain't home when you go. 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 But I need to give my heart a break. I can say that you be treated right. If only for one night, I'll be your man. I'll take the time to really send the vibe. I'll make the night a night you won't forget. Ooh. So grab a few. One night stand. All the corners on the one night. Let me tell you here, my dear, been working hard. Monday to Sunday, finally found time to let your head down. You found a man, that'll treat you like a queen. I'll give you everything that I can. So grab me a drink and then fire up. Let me pour you up a drink. I'm sipping Alizé Hennessy. I'm a good corners on the night stand. When's the last time you've been tied up? Back in the day I was free. I might even kiss on your feet. I'm cutting corners on the one night stand.
Hey, okay. Good morning again, and thank you so much for watching Chip in the Mornings. That song that you're actually listening to is a song on the upcoming album that I have entitled The Underdog's Tale. See, because you know what? Y'all been counting me out for some time now. But I wrote this album because R&B's back first and foremost. And second of all, I feel like this album is just a story about creativity that gives a license to those who were underdogs to tell their story, right? And so this album is uniquely titled The Underdog's Tale, right? So I've entitled the album The Underdog's Tale, but that's one of the songs entitled One Night. I don't cut no corners on a one night stand. Great song. This book that you're looking at, though, is a book that I wrote. Now, let me tell you again. So just so that we're on the same page. A moment ago, I was talking about just kind of the ups and downs of life, right? And the most recent valley that I experienced in life, I lost my family. I lost my marriage. I lost identity, right? And that was in large part because I was living a double, triple, quadruple life, right? Like I'm not asking for pity here. What I'm saying is that I found myself in a space where these songs were, in one way or another, therapeutic storytelling. And then this book that I wrote, The Awakening, was a guided journal where I went into a little bit more detail about the challenges that I faced and the lessons that I learned. And so I'm so excited to share both of them with you, the album and the book. If you know me, semi-personally, I've been talking about this damn album for about a year now. But I'm grateful that it's out, that it's coming out rather, and I'm grateful for you. I'm grateful for the lessons that we've learned, and I'm grateful for 2026. I'm so excited about 2026, and I know that it's going to be, quite frankly, the greatest year of your life because of who you're connected to. You're connected to the right people. You're connected to the right circle. You're in the right space in life. And so I know that 2026 is going to be a phenomenal year because it's going to be a phenomenal year for me. And everyone I've come in contact with is going to have a better year next year than they had this year. I can guarantee that. And I'm excited about that. So throughout our time together this morning, I'll be sharing a couple of these tracks. Not all of them, but a couple of these tracks. And most importantly, I'll be sharing this book, The Awakening. It's a guided journal that I wrote A part of it is a guided journal. A part of it is me, quite frankly, being transparent and forthcoming about what it's going to take to get your life to the next level. Now, obviously, anyone can read the book if you want to, but this is quite frankly for the men. This is a gift for the young man in your life, because you know that we go through so much, right? From, let's focus on a time period. Let's say 16 to 24, right? Let's say 21 to 33. Like, there are phases in our life where we need guidance. Let me be clear. There are moments in our life where we need mentorship, community, and real spaces for self-reflection. That's what you're missing. If your life has gotten out of sorts, if your life has gotten to a place where you can't accept who you're looking at in the mirror, then you need to ask yourself where my mentors are. Because the place that I am in life, there's someone that's been somewhere like this before. Let me find a mentor. Let me find someone who knows more than I know, who has more than I have. I make no bones about the fact that Dr. Cunningham is, one of my mentors, one of the people that I look up to, one of the people that I love that guy, love that man, what he represents and the way he honors his family, the way, just the type of man that he is, right? You need mentors. Your only mentor can't be musicians. You know that, right? The only mentors that you have can't be, people talking to you on social media. You got to have somebody that knows you for real, and that can mentor you. And then you also have to have a community, right? Because everybody in your life can't be the people that know it all. You've got to have some people that are honest and transparent about the fact that they're on a journey that's similar to yours at the same time, right? So you need mentorship, you need community, and you need self-reflection. You need a moment and a still space with God. And I know that we've been trying with everything within inside of us to kind of avoid that element of it. But it's an element that you've got to engage with if you want to be a better husband and or father. And so that's a large part of the reason why I wrote this book, is to give other husbands and fathers that element, guiding them into that self-reflection, guiding them into that moment where you look in the mirror and you say, I messed my marriage up. I'm doing too much. I've got myself around the wrong people. I'm not eating right. I'm not budgeting correctly. Yeah. I'm not taking the missions and the projects that God has put on my heart as seriously as I take my 9 to 5. That's why I wrote this book, because we need mentorship, we need community, but we also need moments of self-reflection. We need moments where we're looking within ourselves, one-on-one with God, and reflecting on what it is we've got to do to get our life, our family, our finances, and our physical health to the next level. I want you to purchase this book. It's entitled The Awakening. It's a guided journal for self-reflection. I wrote it because I wanted to chronicle the most challenging times in my life as an adult, as a father, as a husband. And I wanted to talk about the lessons that I learned, and I wanted to give other men like myself an opportunity to find that light, because it's not in the book. No, the book helps you to find the light within you with the guidance and the help of God. And so I'm so excited about that. Let me play you another song. I'm on a roll this morning, damn it. I'm on a roll. Okay. I'm excited. I'm going to play you another song off of this album. And I also want to give a special shout out to, what's her name? My girl. She's a content creator. She's a political educator here in the city of Detroit. She made a post the other day about the quarter zips. And so I just wanted to show you that I got a quarter zip, and I ain't just buy mine. I had mine a while. All right, let's play another one of these so that you can hear them, and then we'll open these lines. We'll open these lines up and take a couple of calls from people this morning. We're still asking the question: whether or not you think Miss Mary Sheffield is legit or if you believe that she is just a celebrity mayor. Let me see here. And so I want to know what your views and your thoughts are on that. I also want to know what your goals and plans are so far for 2026. Have you started looking to 2026 yet? Have you started organizing your goals and aspirations in a way that's going to put you in the driver's seat in regards to pursuing that, right? Where are we at? Are we ready for 2026? Do we know what the goals are? And are we going to actually hit them? I believe you can hit your goals for 2026 if you have mentorship, community, and self-reflection. Those are the things that you're going to need in order to get your life to the next level in this next season. You're going to need mentorship. You're going to need to submit yourself to a power that you acknowledge knows more than what you know. And that's a challenge. That's a challenge for men because it's tough sometimes as men to find teachers and leaders that resonate with you. And so that finding a mentor is a challenge within itself. Community isn't as hard. You can find a Google search. You can search for your community. But this book here is going to be what you're going to need in order to self-reflect the right way. Now, if you want to know what, and let me tell you, and let me say it this way. Why should you buy this book? Why should you buy this book? Because one, it's going to make you right. And I'm developing this theory that not enough young black men who are out of school, so to speak, take time to sit down with a pen or pencil and write. That alone keeps you mentally sharp. That alone keeps you right. And so it's an opportunity to write and engage yourself in a real way. But it's also an opportunity to be honest with yourself. Because, see, we as people have a hard time sometimes being honest with ourselves, particularly in group settings. But this book offers you a great opportunity to be honest with yourself by yourself. You got to look at yourself sometimes, man. Like, seriously. And before I was able to get my life back on track and my family and my relationships and my marriage and things of that nature back on track, I had to look at myself, man. Like, aren't you tired of blaming everybody else for your, like, seriously, aren't you tired of that? That's got to be old. That's got to be tiring. Tying all of your failures to someone else, that's got to be, at some point, it's kind of weird. You know what I mean? And so if we're going to get our life to the next level, if we're going to get our family to the next level, if we're going to get our physical health to the next level, we've got to look within ourselves sometimes. You know what I mean? And so if you're a lady hearing this, you need to buy this for your boyfriend and or husband or a nephew or niece. Not niece, rather, but your nephew. You need to buy this for someone that you know. It's a great gift. It's a great holiday gift. And I think it's going to help the young man in your life self-reflect. See, because let me tell you something. Ladies, I want to appeal to ladies as to why you should buy this book as a gift for your significant other. Because we've seen this a million times, right? You say something to your significant other and they don't take it. It doesn't resonate with them. And then someone else, a third party authority, says the exact same thing and they take it. This is what this book is. This is man to man, me telling you, I had to look at myself and fix my finances, fix my routine, fix my physical health, quite frankly, fix my spiritual life, because I've been a Christian for, I use this term, I use this phrase, I've been in church all of my life, but church hasn't always been in me. These are all things that you've got to fix, my brother. If you want to be what you know you can be in life, you got to fix that. You can't take no shortcuts to becoming a better husband. There are no shortcuts. It's day for day, baby. It's day for day. You got to build a routine. You got to build that community. You got to find that mentor. And you've got to self-reflect in a way that's conducive for the man that you want to be, not who you were. And so this is a man-to-man conversation. And that's why I'm saying, women, If you want to do something, see, because here's the thing, we're about to buy all type of stuff for the holiday season, right? Buy something that's an investment into the one that you love and respect. This, let me be clear, ladies. This is the easiest way to say the things to your significant other without you having to say them. If you can convince him to read this book, chances are you'll at least have a foundation for building on a better future. Trust me here now. I'm telling you, I've got married, got divorced, and with the help of God, got my family back. Don't you want your family to be whole? Come on and talk to me and keep it real. I know we're on the internet, so we like to show what we want people to see. But don't you want your family to be back together? I'm not saying this book is going to put your family back together. I'm saying that this book is going to be an opportunity for the significant other in your life, the male in your life, to self-reflect in a way that he won't take it from you. And he probably shouldn't. The Awakening. A guided journal for self-reflection. All right, I'm going to ask you a couple of questions as we round third base here this morning. I want to ask you a couple of questions. I'm going to play another song here in a minute. I got an album coming out just before the end of the year entitled The Underdog's Tale. I'm going to play you a track here in just a minute. But I also want to cordially invite you to our not Friendsgiving, Lord. I had such a great time at Friendsgiving. I can't stop talking about it. I want to invite you to our third annual Vision Board Party. We're going to be having it, I believe, Saturday, January the 9th, 7 o'clock, downtown Detroit. Listen, this is the networking opportunity that you've been looking for. We're going to be making our vision boards for 2026. That's first and foremost. But more so, we're going to have people in the room talking about what they're working on in 2026. And we're going to have an environment that is conducive for people identifying what their talents are, what their skills are, and how we can build more community. So we want you to participate in this third annual Vision Board Party. We're going to be having it January the 9th. It's going to be 7 o'clock p.m. downtown Detroit, Michigan. And I don't want you to miss it, because in order for us to hit our goals, we've got to organize our goals. We've got to prioritize our goals. We've got to manifest them. We've got to, are you with me? We've got to set some time aside to focus on what it is that where we're trying to go and what we're trying to accomplish here in this next season of life. And I think a large part of that is coming together with like-minded people. People that at the very least are saying we want something greater in the next year than what we had this year. And so we hope to see you there. Again, this is our third year doing this great event, Friendsgiving. I'm going to show you a picture here from the previous years. What a great time that we've had. And this is getting bigger every year. It's going to be bigger this year because you're going to be here. It's going to be January 9th, downtown Detroit. It's going to be our Vision Board Party, third annual Vision Board Party. And I'd love to see you and a friend come and share with us what it is that you're going to be doing in the year 2026. And what you'll find as you share is that you'll be in a room of people with resources, with knowledge, with community, quite frankly, that's going to help you to push you even further into a bright future. I'm so excited and hope to see you there. Again, that's going to be January the 9th. Let me play you another song here. We're around the third base, and I want to talk to you about your resume, because again, we're going into 2026. We're trying to get ready for 2026. And I want to talk to you about your resume. In just a moment, we're going to fix our resumes before we leave here this morning. You are listening to Watching Chip in the Mornings. Again, this song is entitled, let's play this song, Just to See Another. Let me set this song up for you. Again, I have an album coming out just before the end of the year. I'm so excited about it. I also wrote a book that I would love for you to click the link right there and purchase. It's entitled The Awakening. It's a guided journal for self-reflection. It chronicles a story of, quite frankly, how and why I came to the city of Detroit. Lost my family, but regained it by really looking within myself and fixing some of the things that we know we've got to fix as men. That's what this book is about. It's a wonderful guided journal. And also in that season, quite frankly, I was counted out. Let's talk about it. Let's keep it a buck. I was counted out. And so I wrote an album too. It's entitled The Underdog's Tale. I want you to stream it when it releases. It's not out just yet. But it's I believe we've got 7 or 8 songs on there. And man, I'm so excited about these songs and just the stories. Because, as someone who with a music education background, I just kind of felt like certain elements of music, particularly in R&B, were beginning to be lost, right? Harmony, bridges, song structure that is R&B, that song structure that makes R&B. I think we began to kind of lose it and kind of replace it with samples or things of that nature. We just began to remove those components out of the songs, and quite frankly, in my honest opinion, the quality of our music has suffered as a result of that, right? And so I carefully crafted these songs. I tried to make some of them like singable. I tried to make some of them kind of fun, but this one is hopefully the song that you'll be hearing first and most as we enter into this year 2026, entitled Just to See Another. And I want to give you the opening lyrics just to kind of set you up for what we're about to hear. The lyrics in the beginning of the song say that if you're looking for a way to start this brand new day, I think that you should start by saying thanks. I'm so glad to be alive. Know that God is on my side. The last thing that I will do is complain. I'm grateful, 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 grateful. Grateful just to see another day. Grateful, 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 grateful. Grateful just to see another. Hope you enjoy.
If you're looking for a way to start this brand new day, I think that you should start by saying thanks. I'm so glad to be alive, know that God is on my side. The last thing that I will do is complain. I tell you I'm grateful, I'm grateful, I'm grateful, I'm grateful. I'm grateful just to see another day. I tell you I'm grateful, I'm grateful, I'm grateful, I'm grateful. Grateful just to see another day. Grateful just to see another. Grateful just to see another.
Now, if you're listening to this, if you're watching this on TikTok, you don't hear this song. So what that means is you got to get over. You got to get over to our YouTube or the other streaming platforms. We're streaming in a number of different places. But if you can't hear the song, it's because you might. I'm not saying that you are. I'm saying that you might be on the wrong platform for the live stream. But nevertheless, thank you guys for hanging out with us on the other platform over there.
I tell you I'm grateful, I'm grateful, I'm grateful, I'm grateful. Grateful just to see another day. I tell you I'm grateful, I'm grateful, grateful, I'm grateful. Grateful just to see another.
Listen, let me tell you, wonderful song. I mean, I wrote it, so I guess I'm going to call it wonderful. But it just reminds you to be grateful. Throughout this time of the year, being grateful is easy for some people. You got a lot of money, you've got a big tall Christmas tree, you got a lot of presents, you got family and friends all around, food and drink, right? But then some of us, this is a time where we miss our loved ones. For some of us, this time of year is a reminder of how far we are from our friends. Good morning. For some of us, this time of year is a reminder of the things that have gone wrong all year. Talk to me now. Let's keep it real. For some of us, this time of year is a time where we're looking back and saying that, man, all the goals I set for myself, I didn't even hit half of them. And so I wrote this song because, seasonal depression is a thing, right? Obviously, and to God be the glory. That it's not something that I've ever dealt with. But it's real and it's more, and you can feel it more here in the city of Detroit. And so during the winter. So I wrote this song because I really want people to be reminded that if nothing else, you've got life, health, strength, and let me tell you, whether or not you acknowledge this, whether or not you want to acknowledge it, there's a God somewhere who's on your side. And so I want you to know that if you got life, health, and strength, you ought to be grateful. That's one of the songs that I'm using to motivate and inspire people this next year. I hope that it's encouraged you. I'll probably play you one more, and then we'll be done here in just a minute. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me, Chip in the mornings. Listen, we're ready for 2026. We're ready for 2026 because we know what we need. It's clear now. We need what? Mentorship. You need community, and you need self-reflection. You got it. You got it. Those are the three things that you're going to need in order to take your life, your marriage, your finances, and your physical health to the next level. You're going to need a mentor. You're going to need to submit yourself. I'm talking to men now. You're going to need to submit yourself to someone who you respect enough to speak into your life in a way that you're going to receive. That's what you need. You got to have that because you don't know everything. You need community. You need people that acknowledge that they're on a journey that's similar to yours. And it gives you this feeling that we're in this together. We can figure this out. I'll encourage you some days. You'll encourage me some days because we're in this together. We're a community. And then the last thing you need is self-reflection. You need a clear-minded space with God. You need a clear-minded space with the mirror to look in your own eyes. Man, I'm talking to men now. And figure out what it is that it's going to take to get your life, your finances, your physical health to the next level. I wrote this book. I can't help you with I guess I can help you with all three. Yeah. Well, I don't know if I could be your mentor. I really recommend that your mentor be someone that you can go and grab a coffee with. I don't think you should have an online mentor. I don't know if that's going to be very fruitful. But again, I wrote this book. It's a guided journal. It's used for self-reflection. I think it's going to be a great gift for the holiday season. And really, again, it talks about how you can save your marriage, how I saved my marriage, right? How I got a healthier routine. And again, this is not about me having all of these things figured out. This is more so about me chronicling, like talking about the challenges that we have that we know there isn't a space to talk about because we on the internet. And men don't get to talk about their challenges on the internet. We got to talk about our challenges in our prayer closet. And so that's why I wrote this book. So you can talk about those challenges. And so you can have that moment of self-reflection within yourself and talk about how to improve your finances, how to improve your physical health, and so on and so forth. I want to play you another song off of this album we got coming out. And I'm excited about this project entitled "The Underdog's Tale." I think you'll be excited about it as well. I want you to hear this next track. It's entitled "One Night." I'm sorry. Oh, right. So I wrote this song for a couple of reasons. But one of the reasons that I wrote this song is because young guys people don't pay attention to the details. You know what I mean? Like, I kind of feel like in this world of choice, I don't think people are as meticulous about the details, right? Because it's like over time, everybody's position in the world is if you don't like what I'm offering, then go somewhere else. Like, this is what I'm going to give you. This is what you're going to get. And if you don't like it, then so be it. You know what I mean? Like, kick rocks, right? You know, hell, I know I felt that way, right? So we're talking more along the lines of dating, right? And so it's kind of like this acknowledgement that the one night stand has become a more prevalent thing in society today. And as it's become more prevalent, I believe, this is my theory. Remember, I'm a theorist. My theory is that the dating market isn't. Now I'm outside of it. I'm from the outside looking in. So don't nail me to the cross for this. But what I'm saying is, it appears as though you don't get what you deserve in the encounter. Right? Like, okay, if you know, if a female is going on a date, like, you know what the end goal is, you know what's happening here, right? Like, that's a no-brainer, right? Like the cheeks. but are you going to get a real good night? Like, again, I'm not talking about myself. I'm married. I'm writing music. This song is for y'all. This ain't for me. This is for you. What I'm saying is, like, aren't y'all tired of young brothers cutting corners? Like, seriously. Aren't you tired? I know a lot of people in the world in the dating market may feel like, they're being cheated. They may feel like, people aren't putting into the relationships what they used to be. Like, now they're saying, we got to go to Applebee's on the first date, right? And you got to da. And so over time, what's happened is, like, you get less. You just end up getting less because over time we are less meticulous about the details. And when I'm talking along, within the context of dating, then I'm saying what? It's like, man, give her a time, man. Like, I believe, I'm 37 now. I believe that when you are dating, you ought to give her a good time for real. Like, do it for real. You feel me? Like, come on. Take the time. Do it right. Like, buy the drinks. Pick her up on time. You feel me? Do the right thing. Have it. If you're taking her back to the spot, have the spot nice. Have the spot ready. You know what I mean? Like, whatever the case may be. Like, be for real about the details. You got to be, like, if you want to show a woman a good time, you got to be for real about the details. And it's not for everybody. I guess some people aren't necessarily into, the details sometimes. But what you'll find is that more people are into the details. More people want to see you put in effort than those who don't. Like, I think people have began to say that they don't want to see effort as a what? Defense mechanism for the lack of effort that they've seen. But in reality, these women want to be treated some type of way, brother. Come on. They want to be treated. And so I wrote this song because I was basically saying, hypothetically speaking, I'm going to take my time with you. I ain't cutting no corners. I'm going to make sure you feel like, even if it's just tonight, tonight we married. Tonight you with me tonight. It's going to be, I can't speak for tomorrow. It's R&B, man. I know my church family's watching like, Lord. Okay. Well, that's why now you know why. Now you know. Now you know, because I'm releasing our R&B album that's not all gospel, okay? So let me play this track for you entitled One Night. Hopefully you enjoy. Let me not sing because y'all realize I can't sing in real life.
I think it's time that you be treated right. If only for one night, I'll be your man. I'll take the time to really set the vibe. I'll make the night a night you won't forget. Ooh. So grab a few trees and baby fire up. Let me pour you up a drink. I'm sipping and I'm saying in the sea. I don't cut no corners on the one night stand. When's the last time you've been tied up? Back in the day, I was a freak. I might even kiss on your feet. I don't cut no corners on the one night stand.
Please, ma'am. Please, sir.
I don't cut no corners on the one night.
I need you, ma'am. I need you, sir, to purchase this book for the young man in your life. It's a guided journal for self-reflection.
You hear my dear, been working hard.
From Monday to
finally found time to let your head down. You found a man, I gotta treat you like a queen. I'll give you everything.
I just want you to hear a little bit of this harmony.
So grab a few drinks and then fire up. Let me pour you up a drink. I'm sipping I done cut the corners on one night stand. When's the last time you been tied up? Back in the day, I was a freak. I might even kiss on your feet. I done cut the corners on the one night stand.
Go one more.
I done cut the corners on the one night.
Find your part right here.
You got it, that thing I can't ignore.
That's the melody. Go a third above and third below. Find it.
You got it,
That's up there.
that thing I can't ignore.
All right, I'm playing. That song is entitled One Night. Hopefully you enjoyed that. Now again, we are rounding third base here. Thank you so much for watching Chip in the Mornings. Don't miss an opportunity to network with us. This is our third year doing our vision board party. It's going to be right here downtown Detroit. You don't want to miss it. 7 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I think we might actually stream that as well for those of our friends who are watching virtually. But if you're in the Metro Detroit area, I'd love to see you shake your hand, kiss your baby, and tell you about all the great things that we're going to accomplish in 2026 as a result of the community that we're building right now. And with that being said, I want to remind you that your life is your resume. That's what I want to do. I want to remind you that your life is your resume. It's not just what you post online, right? Your life is your resume. The life that you live. I want to ask you a couple questions. I'm gonna leave you with this. Because when we see what we see online, it serves as our resume. It serves as a depiction, a window in to one's life that creates an idea of who you are, whatever the case. I guess what I'm saying is your presentation online is the introduction to the life you live in person. And so when people see you present whatever it is that you present online, they'll want to hopefully know more if you've presented it the right way. They'll want to know more. They'll want you to tell us more about what you've shown us in a snapshot. What we post online is our resume. And as we make interpersonal connections, people want to know more. And when they inquire about who you really are, they want it to be consistent with your resume. They want the life that you present to be consistent with the life that you live. That's typically what people want, typically, right? Whether we're talking about relationships, whether we're talking about pursuing your career. Obviously, that's obvious, right? Because if we're talking about resumes, we're talking about careers, right? Maybe in your spiritual life, maybe in your spiritual life, maybe you're a person that goes to church, right? People don't. I love my former pastor for saying this. Pastor out of Baytown, Pastor Kevin, Maytown Church in Baytown. Shout out to him. He says this. He says people don't expect you to be perfect. They just don't want you to be a hypocrite. You know what I mean? People don't expect your life to be perfect. We know that what you show online isn't everything. But when we learn more about you, we don't want it to contradict what you've shown us more than it complements what you've shown us. Does that make sense? It's like, don't present yourself to be right-leaning if you're left-leaning. It's not that bad to present yourself as right-leaning if you're in the middle, right? Or if you're in the middle, it's not harmful to present yourself as though you might be in the middle if you are, a little bit right-leaning, or a little bit. You see what I'm saying? But when people begin to figure out who you really are beyond what you show on social media, it shouldn't contradict, right? Nobody's perfect. Don't let's not let's get away from that, because I think that's where we want to push each other into this idea of being perfect. That's not what this is about. I think that over time, something far more insidious has happened. Yeah. I think something far more insidious has happened over time. Over time, we've seesawed and rocked so much that now that what we present online, it has almost nothing to do with the life that we live. And let me just kind of drill this down so you can kind of understand what I'm saying and why I'm saying this. People get disappointed. Particularly, I guess the biggest space to think about these things would be in the dating world and the professional world. There aren't really many other worlds, right? The spiritual world, right? But it's like, don't present something if it contradicts your real. You with me? Because those are what we like to call holes in your resume. So as we have this conversation about your online resume and what you've presented to the world, hopefully it's attractive to those who are mutual friends. It's attractive. Hopefully what you show is what people want to see, what makes them want to engage with you on a more intimate level. And when they do, don't disappoint by being a contradiction of what you've presented. I want to ask you a couple of questions. And these questions, quite frankly, are from this guided journal. I wrote this guided journal. It's entitled The Awakening, because that's exactly what I had when I came to the city of Detroit, was an awakening in my spirit, an awakening in my finances, awakening in my physical health, awakening in my marriage. You don't hear me? So, these questions are out of our guided journal. I want to share them with you. You can click the link above to order this book for the young man or husband in your life. Talking about the idea, the premise that your life is your resume. I want to ask you a couple questions. Are you secure in your love life, or are you looking? Your life is your resume. We're talking about a couple of things here. And as we go down the list, it'll kind of make a little bit more sense. Right? Are you secure in your relationship? Are you secure in your love life? Or are you looking in your love life? That's question number one. Question number two, are your business moves moving? Everybody's got two jobs. Everybody's got, a couple of hustles, right? Typically, most of the time, like one of them is 9 to 5, and one of them is, your personal project that you're trying to turn into profit, right? Or just an app or, a product or service that you provide, right? Are your business moves moving? Are you matriculating? Are you growing in the businesses that you are involved in? Are you growing? Are your business moves moving in the right direction? Question number 3. Do you have relationships that bring you life? That bring life to you? And I'm not really big on pursuing, self-gratification. But it's important that you begin to identify what people, places, and things feed you and drain you. You got to begin to identify that. And we're not even identifying it for the purpose of changing the thing necessarily. We're just trying to know that this is a place that I can come in and relax and be fed. But this is a place where I need to be fortified because people are going to be asking of me, right? Let me be prepared and get the most out of both spaces. Do you have relationships that are bringing you life? Question number 4. Do you have a healthy spiritual life? We all have a spiritual life, but they aren't all healthy. You know what I mean? Like all of us have some version of a spiritual life, right? Whether it's the spirits that you drink or whether it's the spirit that you pray to. But we all got some type of spiritual life, and is it healthy or not? You know what I mean? Is it a healthy thing? It's just a question. Again, this book is about self-reflection. Remember, that's what we're doing. I don't know the answers to your question. We're just reflecting openly, honestly, and in a transparent way. Do you have, watch this, let me rephrase that question and read it verbatim, or in the words, he's going to laugh at me for saying this, or in the words of my homeboy, Ayo, verbatim. Okay, anyway. Yeah, I'm sorry. He had a little, talking snap when we were on the phone one day. Anyway, do you have healthy spiritual habits? That was the question. I rephrased it originally, but that's the question that we're asking. Spiritual habits. Spiritually, because we're mind, body, and soul, right? Spiritually. Okay. Last but not least, are you physically fit? These are questions that have come out of the guided journal that I wrote entitled The Awakening. It is a guided journal for self-reflection. Are you physically fit? Those are just great places to kind of start. And again, we're talking about the idea that the things that you post online, they have become your resume. They have become a story of who you are or who you are not. And these questions are the questions that come to mind when people begin to inquire about who it is you are beneath the surface. They're going to want to know if you're physically fit. They're going to want to know if you have healthy spiritual habits. They're going to want to know if you have relationships that feed you. That's going to be important. Because if you don't have relationships that feed you, then that means I might have to be there, huh? And listen, and whether or not I'm up for the challenge is a different conversation, but I want to know. What's draining you? Why are you always like that? Why is your cup always half empty? Do you have someone pouring into you? Why is your countenance falling? Why do you speak of yourself that way? Why do you look at the world that way? Do you have relationships that feed you? You don't have anybody pouring into you? Are your business moves moving? I love that. I'm not going to ask these questions twice. I'm excited about this opportunity, particularly if I'm just going to be transparent. I'm excited about the opportunity for us to improve as men. And this time we get to do it without harming anybody. You see what I'm saying? Like we're not in this for like debate. We're not in this for debate. We're past that. We're past the debate age. And quite frankly, we're going to engage in a lot of debates. I get it. Like, hey, that's the quickest way to $1 million on the internet is talking about relationships, right? I'm not opposed to that. What I'm saying is that I'm talking about you and your life for real. I'm not talking about what you put online. I'm talking about in real life. We gotta fix this. We gotta fix this. Everything that's going on in our world, it's as a result of what we as men have done or what we haven't done. And so when we as men take moments of solitude and focus on what it is we need to do to be the person in society, because we know what's missing here, right? You know what's missing. You know it. Fathers, husbands, mentors, men that can watch, men that can be mentally and physically and spiritually present when the boogeyman knocks at the door. When he comes to steal the innocence of our children, you've got to have your spirit fortified. Somebody talk to me. When the enemy comes in to build a wedge between you and your lady, you got to have your spirit fortified. And if you're chasing tail, you won't be able to see the enemy coming by your. And again, this is not about beating people. You're not going to feel bad about yourself reading this. It's not going to make you feel bad. You're not going to feel badgered. I'm more so embarrassing and being transparent with you, right? But what I'm saying ultimately is that it's our job. It's our time. And more than ever, we are living in a society where the signs are obvious. They need us. They need us. Not in a negative way. We need them. I'll be first to say it. You just got to read the book, because it's not about man versus woman. You know what I mean? Like I can get in that bag, and I love that bag. It's a fun bag. It's the viral bag. I love it, and I'm going to talk about relationships. Matters a damn if mine is good or bad, right? God is good, and God has been kind to us in this season of our lives. But I'm not opposed. I'm just saying I'm not opposed to having those debates. I think they're, they can be fruitful and fun, in moderation. But this is about you, though. This is about you. I heard a friend of mine. I'm waiting on my interview. Okay. Yes, sir. I've got a friend of mine, close friend of mine here. Talked about the challenges of his relationship. And I said, well, when you gonna do it? When you gonna take it there with her? And my boy said, I'm waiting for her to, and I'm saying this, I'm not saying it verbatim. I'm saying this I'm paraphrasing. I'm waiting for her to, basically submit completely in so many terms. I'm really kind of waiting for her to really just give me that respect so that I can step forward and reward her, so to speak, with the marriage. You know what I mean? And this my boy. This is my friend. I ain't talking bad about him. But I'm gonna tell you what I told him. You ought not be waiting on your lady to do nothing. If you waiting on your lady to do something so you can do something, then she's the leader of your relationship. We gotta lead. And when we lead, they'll follow. Come on, I'm not talking. Listen, let me be clear, because the internet is so dicey. It's so easy to offend people here. I'm not saying that in a negative way. I'm saying when you as a man are walking in your divine, as Tierney would say, your woman will follow you. His woman won't follow you. The streets woman won't follow you, but your woman will follow you. You know what I mean? And that ain't nothing negative about. No, we just think we don't. Nobody told us. They didn't tell us this. We had to learn these lessons on our own sometimes. You feel me? It's not a negative thing. It's just the fact that we've been hearing these cultural norms. We've been hearing these stereotypes. We've been hearing these phrases. We've been watching these movies. We've been hearing this music. And now we've got ourselves in a position where we're waiting on our lady to give us the green. No, we're the leaders of our families. We're the leaders of our relationships. And so all we got to do is self-reflect. You know what I mean? That's all we got to do is reflect within yourself and remind yourself that you set the temperature. You know what I mean? You ain't waiting on respect. You demanding it because you've done the work to be respectable. But you just got to self-reflect. And it's not a lesson that, it's a lesson that a lot of us have to learn in the dark. And that's why we wrote this book. It's a lesson that a lot of us have to learn in the dark. And I don't think that should be. It really, really shouldn't be. We're done for today. I thank you guys so much for watching us for Chip in the Mornings. Thank you. Thank you so much. I hope that you guys are going to continue to have a great week. Today's Wednesday, so we are as we are talking, you're getting over the hump. God is good. You are getting over the hump. Literally, as I speak, you are putting the hump behind you, and so hopefully your week is going good. I believe our next broadcast is going to be Monday, if I'm not mistaken, and there's an open invitation. You may have seen the text message that I've sent to you to join virtually. If you want to come in person, I know some friends and colleagues have some projects going on. Special shout out to Brittany. Hayden, I believe she just had a Betty Blanca EP that she just dropped. I wasn't able to come and support you in person, but I would definitely love to, talk about the motivation and inspiration behind your new project. Or if you know an artist that would like to come on. I just talked to my girl Peter Poet the other day, and so shout out to her. Hopefully she'll be coming and visiting. And Ari Lane, I know that you guys just did a from a distance, it looked as though you all were getting your 2026 poet team together. I'm so interested in that. I would love to hear more about it. If you know of an artist that has something going on here in the city and they want to come on and share it, and we can cross-pollinate our audiences, because that's really what you got to do, right? You got to work together. You got to collaborate. You got to be friendly. I was talking to AO this morning. And we just laughing, man. You guys hilarious. And I ended up telling them, people who don't have friends, they aren't friendly, right? So if you meet someone who doesn't have friends, it's because they aren't friendly. That's why they don't have friends, because they aren't friendly most of the time, obviously. And then the people in the comments say, "No, I'm just blah, 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 people, But for the most part, right? I guess what I'm saying in theory is that if you are a kind, genuine person, that it shouldn't be hard to find, hell, I don't even know what I'm talking about, friends or whatever. But long story short, I would love for you guys to collaborate. Let's mix our audiences. Let's come together and let's share what we're doing with each other's viewers, as well as those who we have yet to reach. Thank you so much for watching Chip in the Mornings, and I would love to hear from you what you want us to discuss, what we missed, and how you feel about the stories that we covered. Oh, you know what? I will not end this stream without talking about this Somalia takeover of Minnesota. I know I mentioned it in the opening of our stream this morning, but I gotta delve into this, because we gotta poke into this. And that's what I'm gonna leave you with. I'm gonna talk about that. Then I'm gonna play you one more song. Then I'm gonna hop off of here. Woo! I don't cut the call. All right. People see this thing all the time. And they ask me, excuse me, who is this? This is Sojourner Truth. And this is a pendant, a gift that I got from Marion Wright Edelman, one of the attorneys for Dr. Martin Luther King. There were a couple of years between 2009 and 2014 that I was so blessed to be, one of her personal drivers during the Summer Enrichment Institute that is held in Knoxville, Tennessee. And so I love this pendant. I just want to give her a special shout out, because this is a beautiful thing. And it's just one of the little ways that I like to show just support for those who've come before us and acknowledgement for those that have come before us. And so I'm acknowledging Sojourner Truth. I'm acknowledging Marion Wright Edelman. So that's that. But I know this pendant is seen oftentimes, and people wonder what it is. It's a quote on the back of it here. I would read it to you, but I can't read upside down. I just learned how to read right side up not too long ago, so I don't imagine I'll be able to read that to you. But it's a wonderful pendant, wonderful gift. A special shout out to Miss Marion Wright Edelman. Let's talk about this for a few minutes here. Oh, that's what I want to do. Put these headphones in here. Let's talk about this for a second here, because I really want to get your take on this. I really want to know what your position and your views are on this. Because when we got into this conversation, I know we talked about it a lot during the last election cycle. Excuse me. Lord help me. All right. Got audio? We got audio? Boom, boom. Boom, boom. That's loud. Help me, Lord. Sorry. Forgive me. Charge it to my head, not my heart. All right. So, there has been a lot of conversation. I guess, you know what? You heard me talking to a friend of mine last week, his Pastor Gary Hunter, and you heard me, he was talking about he was talking about mayor-elect in a disparaging, I don't want to say disparaging, but he was talking about it in a less than favorable way. And I didn't send him the link. Oh, Oh, I'm about to send it to him. I'm about to send him the link right now. Let me send him the link so I can have him join us on this. Or maybe I can just call him. I'll probably call him here in just a minute. Long story short, we've been talking about immigration. Immigration was a very, very large part of the conversation last year when we were talking about the election cycle. And there were a lot of emotions that were in influx because of how people feel about immigrants, and things of that nature. And so as information continues to come out about things, I think it's only fair that we speak truth to power and talk about some of the truths that have come out and give people an opportunity to, because here's what we're trying to do. When we have a conversation like this, I want to just be clear about what's about to happen, what's taking place. When you have these conversations, I'm about to grab this phone in a minute, but when you're having these types of conversations about politics, what we're beginning to see, whether you're on the left or right, or independent, what we're beginning to see is an inability to say when your side is wrong. And so you have to press these conversations to see if people who proclaim themselves to be in the middle will acknowledge the frailties that exist within their own party. You got to be able to call a spade, because if you cannot call a spade when it pertains to the people that you like and or defend, then it costs you your credibility. It's going to cost you your credibility if you are unable to look at something that is wrong and say that it's wrong. You got to be able to say that right is right and wrong is wrong. I say this all the time, no matter where I'm at. If you sit with me for 30 minutes and we talk about a number of issues, you may love me on one of them and hate me on the next. But I'm going to call a spade a spade. When this conversation began to take place, people said that no one stole money. No one took from the American people. All they did is gave to the American people. Right? That's what they said. And now we're beginning to see that this may or may not be true. And so the way that we find credible people in moments like this is we do our best to honestly judge their pursuit of what we think to be the unknown truth. Because when this side does something that isn't good and you pursue the truth and drive through barriers to pursue the truth, and then when this side does something and you, for whatever reason, don't have the same amount of intensity, then I think that fairly begs the question, what's the difference? And if you are not able to articulate the difference, then you are not credible. That's what that means. You're not credible. You're not. And so this is about finding credible people to have this conversation with. That's what this is about. That's what this is about. Because we have to ensure, watch this, we have to ensure that the narrative matches reality as close as it possibly can, because the narrative is what drives the policies. And if the narrative is that the black African American urban man is evil and insidious, then that supports why the policies are the way that they are. But what if the reality is different? And the reason that we have to fight against the things that we have to fight against is not because of the reality that we create as people, but as a result of the narrative that we have to face. So when things happen that can and should serve as an aha moment, when things happen that should be an opportunity for those in the mental, to come to the mental, we've got to press the conversation so we can identify people that have credibility and good faith. And so that is why I'm asking you, how do you feel about this video that we're about to show? Let me get Gary Hunter on here real quick, Pastor Gary Hunter, and then we'll go into this video. Give me 2 seconds. As a matter of fact, I'm going to play you a quick little track. I feel like this is too loud, but turn your volume down if it is. My apologies. I won't play that. I'll play this one. Let me play this track for you. I'm going to get Gary on the phone. I'll be right back.
Again, it won't happen any other way. Any other way. You take a look within. As for me and you, I realize that we are through. I wanted to work it out, but you had other things to do. You won't let me go for an hour, but it feels like a million days. This ain't home when you go, but I need to give my heart a break. You won't let me go for an hour, but it feels like a million days. This ain't home when you're gone, but I need to give my heart a break. My heart, when to stop and think. I need to find a better love other than you, but they won't shame you. When I stop and think about it, think about it, because she ain't you. You only been gone for an hour, but it feels like a million days. This ain't home when you go, but I need to give my heart a break. You only been gone for an hour, but it feels like a million days. This ain't home when you go, but I need to give my heart a break. That's what I need. My heart, my heart. You're always down to fuss so fight, but you is lost to wins. While you're busy keeping score, I'm gonna find the love of another. You're always down to fuss so fight, but you is lost to wins. While you're busy keeping score, I'm gonna find the love of another. You're always down to fuss so fight, but you is lost to wins. While you're busy keeping score, I'm gonna find. Let me go. Oh yes, but it feels like a million days. This ain't home when you go, but I need to give my heart a break. You only be gone for an hour, but it feels like a million days. This ain't home when you go. This ain't home when you go.
All right, hang tight with me. Thank you guys so much for rocking with your boy. I'm way too loud. Let me turn myself down. Testing, 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 testing. There we go. All right. Thank you all for rocking with me. You're watching Chip in the Mornings. We are rounding third base here. I want to cover this last story, but I want to try to bring in a couple of my friends to share some of their perspective on this, because, again, this is a conversation that gives you an opportunity to see how fair people are. That's what this is about. This isn't about Somalian people. No. See, because one of the things that I've realized is that there's a difference between immigrants and the weaponization of immigration. Listen, as a Christian, let me give you an example. You despise homosexuality, but you don't despise the homosexual. Because we know the spirit of darkness in the theory. This is our theory, and if you don't have the views, then to God be the glory. I'm not going to try to come and take your rights. I'm just letting you know how I feel. We believe that that's a spirit that exists on top of the person. So you're not mad at the person. You're mad at the spirit that's weaponized, the institution of romantic relationships, if you will. You kind of see where I'm going? And so what I'm saying is that this conversation may not be easy to have, but let me say in the beginning, we're all immigrants. Let's get this clear. Let me start by saying we're all immigrants to a degree. Many of us can only go 2 or 3 generations before, grandpa or grandma says, yeah, we came on a boat. You know what I mean? So that's not what this is about. This is about the unidentified powers that be that exist in the shadows, who have allowed, this is not about the Somalians, this is about the governor. See what I'm saying? This is not about those who come from different places and take advantage of loopholes. That's a human trait. It's a human trait. No, but there are people that sit back and, they say, oh, well, they take from those, and that's what this is about. And I just want to know if you have the integrity that is necessary to say that's wrong. Do you have it? It's basically what I'm saying. I'm pretty sure Gary doesn't. That's why I want to call him and make you guys laugh at him real quick. Let's see. He's going to watch. He's going to bring up something crazy. I know he is, because that's all people do. Is deflect. It's so funny. But anywho, let me give him a call before we hop off of here and see what my guy has to say. Now, he's going to answer the phone by saying, good morning, I love you and respect you, which is his signature, way of answering the phone, which I think is so freaking cool. Anyway, I say we're almost done, but again, social media nowadays it's all about the clip, so we're recording and then we'll come back and clip this stuff out. Negro. That's funny. Okay. Oh, yeah, that's right. My boy out of town. That's right, my boy out of town. Okay. Good morning.
Thank you. I love you. Good morning.
Hey, good morning, Pastor Gary Hunter. I am calling. This is Chip Van Gundy. I'm calling live from Chip in the Mornings. How are you doing? Did you have a moment?
Can you speak up? I didn't hear nothing you just said.
I apologize. I was saying good morning. This is oh, wait, you know what? You might be here. I was saying good morning. This is Chip from Chip in the Mornings. How are you doing?
What's up, Chip?
How are you feeling this morning? You feeling good? I think you broke up for a second there. You doing all right this morning?
I'm doing, hallelujah, 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 grateful. I'm grateful.
Just to see, are you singing
In
this?
spite of the hateful.
Mr. Gary Hunter, I am calling you because I'm curious to know whether or not. Oh, let me see. Oh, this is This is my girl online here. Shout out to Zane. I see you on TV, Fox 2. They're dancing on the morning news here. Anyway, I was wondering if you heard anything about about Minnesota. What's going on in Minnesota? Have you heard anything about that?
No, what happened?
They're saying that they're between feeding our families, between like SNAP benefits. They're saying they're basically accusing people in Minnesota of committing fraud in kind of above like $1 billion.
Minnesota, they're choosing all the Democratic states. They agreed to inclusion, and the Democratic states said they're not going through all this double checking.
Oh,
So it's not just Minnesota. Minnesota may have gotten, because it's Tim Kaine. I mean, what's his name?
Tim Walz. Mm-hmm.
Because the Democrats are saying, screw him. And the Republicans are afraid to say screw him. And some of them may not be applying. They say it's 21 states that said yes to the validation. And I think 19 or whatever it is said no.
Mm-hmm.
So,
well, yeah. 21. Yeah, 29 said yes, and 21, I think they said no. Yeah, but I guess
I thought it was 19.
Well,
something.
yeah. Well, I guess my question to you is kind of, and I know this is multi-layered, multifaceted.
Are we online?
Yeah, we're live right now. I don't have.
Oh, you could have said that.
No, I most certainly said that's. I think the first thing I said, and I'm not sure.
When you say Chip, that automatically means you Chip online. Okay, y'all. Okay.
Oh my gosh, you can
That's
listen.
his little character. He's
Jesus.
gonna have to get a mascot. So when he come on, he can say.
This is why I love Gary Hunter. This is why Exhibit A. I'm asking you, Gary, what do you think should happen if, in fact, it is determined that the allegations that have been leveled in the media at this point are accurate? Who should be to blame? Should anyone be incarcerated? Should anyone be pursued legally is what my question is to you. Now, let me just let the viewers know that Mr. Gary is a presidential photographer. He has photographed all of the presidents, probably except, and you correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm saying this gentleman is, he ain't calling from the side of the street. So let me turn it over to you, Mr. Gary, and tell me kind of what you think and what do you think should come of this?
That's why it's so important for the Democrats to wake up and stop playing punk. And it's important for the Democratic chair to realize that I'm down here in Georgia right now, and in Tennessee yesterday, all I heard was bashing Biden, bashing the Democrats. But the Democrats run around here playing these private meetings. And there's a public assassination of the Democrats every day on almost every other station down south in the Midwest. If you go out west, it's according to what neighborhood you're in, you're going to hear it. They don't get it. They're out of touch. They got to get out their bubble. They got to, I'll never forget, I told one of our local politicians there in Detroit, man, get everybody like you in your circle. Get out your circle.
Yeah.
And he lost to a write-in. That was Benny Napoleon. He did not have to lose.
Yeah.
But he had consistent, lazy people and consistent, out-of-touch people.
Let me ask you
And
this.
they liked you because you was a light-skinned Negro. They liked you because you were likable.
Yeah.
You were good on the eyes for the women. You was cool with the brothers.
Let me bring you back here just real quick.
But that ain't, don't come on, bring it back in. That is in, brother.
Well, no. I'm saying
and the
I want
votes.
to ask you really
Wait a
quickly.
minute, hold up. The votes. Matter of fact, one of your callers called me and said, tell him to let you finish because that's what people call the for, to get information. That's what they listen for.
But now you're talking about something going down south. I'm asking you about Minnesota. So that's the reason I'm cutting you off, because you're talking about something different.
Watch this.
Will
Minnesota,
you tell me about what you think
Georgia.
should happen in Minnesota?
Watch this. Minnesota, New York, California, the states that have Democratic-led, Chicago, is the ones that's revoking against a triple system. They got a double system now. How is it that you think when people get on food stamps, you automatically get a letter from child support? Because it's an interlocked system. So it's not like they don't know who's on food stamps.
Yeah.
They know exactly who's on food stamps.
And so
When somebody died and you go to get that death certificate, it's a locked-in system.
So you don't think the fraud that is allegedly taking place in Minnesota is going to result in any, politicians of noteworthy recognition being indicted or pursued? Do you
I think what we're getting right now, brother, it's the 300,000, they say, women that lost their jobs, whether it's the food stamps that would look like it was going to be delayed, whether it's everybody at odds with, will I be next? We are getting a cleansing.
Yeah.
God is tired. People are tired because people are not engaged with people. We don't know our neighbors. We don't have big pools of friends. Our families don't communicate.
Yeah.
How do a person become homeless? And why do we have so many women talking about men living with them?
Yeah.
Because we're living in a system that's systematically broken from the morals and the standards that God set out.
So you're not gonna give me a straight one on, and I agree with you with everything you're saying. But I'm also curious as to know.
But that's what somebody on welfare, somebody in the system.
Do you believe that if people are
consistently
lying
for 10 years, not 2 years, not 5 years, they've been on it for 10, 50, that their whole child's growing up was getting food stamps. No concept whatsoever of a moral standard of getting with a man, building a legacy, and creating a family. There's nowhere in the world I'm going to live my life. Well, me and my brother was mad at each other, barely spoke for a couple of years. I still could go to his house and stay in Memphis when he was in Memphis, or Chattanooga when he was in Chattanooga. I still could.
Yeah.
I go by his house, go see him. Yeah, you get on my nerve. Yeah, you're a butthole. But hold on. I'm about to miss my
All right.
miss my exit. Our goal cannot be to keep being off balance
Yes.
from what God say. So you're gonna end up with food stamps.
Yeah.
You're gonna end up with jobs you can't keep. I mean, go on my
I
Facebook.
think you're talking about. I think you're talking about, if I may, the American element to it. There's an American culture that exists, and it is antithetical to the family. We acknowledge that, and we agree on that. And I guess I want to make sure that you have an opportunity to almost give a yes or no, because I'm curious about this particular issue, and I know that a number of things are more important to you. We both live in Detroit, so we probably shouldn't even be talking about Minnesota this much. But I'm just curious because this is one of those examples where the information that is beginning to become available, it's like clear as day. And so, a lot of times when you are talking about a different scenario, there are a lot of variables that will keep you from being able to give a black or white answer. But it appears as though this may be a situation where the evidence is so ironclad that all people will need to do is acknowledge what they.
I need you to acknowledge what causes the cause and effect. It's no yes and no. It's why we for the government handout in the first place. We thought it didn't affect want to affect us. Then we say, oh, maybe we should have marched. Tomorrow I'll be in Montgomery, Alabama all weekend for the 70th anniversary of the bus boycott and the mass meeting. It is barely spoken of, if it's spoken of, probably across the country.
Yeah.
Because we don't think we need the element of civil rights, the element of revolt.
Yeah.
I think we need to all, as blacks, not vote in the next election. I said it.
All right. Brother Gary.
They raised $12.9 billion.
Pastor Gary, let me
vote. No, listen to me good. This is a good element.
I'm sorry. We're not talking about the same thing. Let's take a break real quick. I'm gonna let them finish up in just a moment. I'm responsible for what's going on right here for the viewer. I want to make sure, and we'll have Brother Gary on another time. I appreciate him so much. And I don't want to keep cutting him off because that's not fair either. But I have to maintain the what we're talking about here. So with that being said, I'll talk to you. What do you think about it? Like, what do you think about what I'm asking you about? Let me know what you think in the comments. I want to play this video for you and give you a little bit more context about the conversation. And like I said, we'll try to have on Pastor Gary another time when he's great. He's got a lot of great insight. Love him, and he's a good friend of mine. But in the context of this stream, we got different audiences. I need him to answer the question I'm asking and then give his soliloquy afterwards. Let me play this video for you, and then we'll see if we can get somebody else on the line that can speak more directly to what we're talking about. We are specifically talking about what's going on in Minnesota. There are things going on right here on the edge of my fingertips. Okay, I'm making a concerted effort to ask people about what's going on in Minnesota regarding the fraud. Let me play this video for you.
February of this year, we asked for all the states for the first time to turn over their data to the federal government, to let the USDA partner with them to root out this fraud, to make sure that those who really need food stamps are getting them, but also to ensure that the American taxpayer is protected. 21 states said yes, not surprised. 29 states said yes, not surprisingly, the red states, and that's where all of that data, that fraud comes from. But 21 states, including California, New York, and Minnesota, the blue states, continue to say no. So as of next week, we have begun and will begin to stop moving federal funds into those states until they comply and they tell us and allow us to partner with them to root out this fraud and to protect the American taxpayer. As Joe Biden was working to buy an election a year ago, he increased food stamp program funding by 40%. So now as we continue to roll that back.
All right, so that's what I'm asking about. I'm just asking about that. That's all I'm asking about. Do you think that this is fair? Do you think that it is right? Do you think that there is enough evidence or information that is accessible in the public sphere to justify cutting off the food benefits for millions of people? That's what I'm trying to get to. That's all I wanted to know. And I love them, respect them, but I'm curious to know what your position is on that. If you believe that these allegations are accurate, if you believe that there is some malfeasance going on in the investigative process, or do you believe that there's malfeasance going on, and that is why people are more reluctant to show the information? Now, I'll say this, and again, I consider myself in the middle. If I'm not mistaken, it was a week or so ago, and someone said, we were talking about the MRI, if there's nothing to hide, then show the MRI. Now, an MRI is like a medical examination. It's like, that might play into HIPAA or whatever. I know he's an elected official. I guess the point that I'm trying to make is that, again, we're pursuing the truth about Trump's MRI, And if there's nothing to hide, then he should show the MRI. It's what the argument has been. The same argument. Maintenance wants to know, can you come up to take care of it? Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much. What I'm saying is that last week we were pursuing the MRI, and if there's nothing to hide, show the MRI, right? This week we're trying to triple check that the American people are not being cheated out of their tax money. And so from the middle, is it fair for me to say, well, if there's nothing to hide, show them the numbers, right? Because again, and I'm giving you two, hopefully they're close enough, right, to be used as an example for one another, right? Minus the HIPAA element of it or whatever the case may be. But Trump, if there's nothing to hide, show the MRI. If there's nothing to hide with these different programs where they are alleging that malfeasance is taking place, well, then show the numbers. Is what I'm saying. And I'm curious as to whether or not your viewpoint on that is the same. Let me know what you think in the comments. I'm gonna play this video for you one more time so you can further contextualize what I'm saying. Again, I want to be crystal clear. Someone somewhere in this country needs these benefits. And as a result of what's taking place in the White House, someone somewhere who should not lose their benefits will have their benefits paused, will have their benefits taken. And that is not right. What the administration is saying is that we are doing this federal shakeup to ensure that those who should be on it can stay on it. Those who should not be on it will get off of it. So I have two questions. Is that fair? Should they show the numbers, considering that maybe the same people that are hiding the numbers were the same people that were asking for the MRI information? Should they show their numbers? And then the second question is, well, if there is someone using the benefits that should not, then what is the way that we can go about identifying who should not be on it? See, because here's the thing. Everyone says the way that people address the issues are wrong, right? Like they shouldn't do it this way. It's that way. You shouldn't. And then that's where the conversation ends. It's like, if it shouldn't be done this way, then which way should it be done? Because the idea or the notion that nothing should be done because the way that you want to do it is either harsh, inhumane, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. I think the time out for like that is past. That's what elections are for. These people are in charge now. These people are in charge. Point blank, period. They want to see if you're committing fraud or not. They're in charge. You got to show them the information, right? You can check their motives. You can check their, I mean, are they asking you to do something illegal? Or do you feel like it's a nuisance to indulge the request? Because those are two different things. And then if you want to have the conversation about legality, which is this is really like, pun intended, the Trump card. If you want to have the conversation in the courts, then I am the one who's, put people in the Supreme Court. It's kind of like, this is going to come to a head, and the truth is going to come to the light. And those who can acknowledge the truth are credible. Those who cannot acknowledge the truth, they are not credible. I want to know what you think. Let me play this video one more time. I'm really fascinated to know what you think.
February of this year, we asked for all the states for the first time to turn over their data to the federal government to let the USDA partner with them to root out this fraud, to make sure that those who really need food stamps are getting them, but also to ensure that the American taxpayer is protected. 21 states said yes, not surprised. 29 states said yes, not surprisingly, the red states, and that's where all of that data, that fraud comes from. But 21 states, including California, New York, and Minnesota, the blue states, continue to say no. So as of next week, we have begun and will begin to stop moving federal funds into those states until they comply and they tell us and allow us to partner with them to root out this fraud and to protect the American taxpayer. As Joe Biden was working to buy an election a year ago, he increased food stamp program funding by 40%. So now as we continue to roll that back.
All right. That's basically what I just want to know what your views are on that. You know what I mean? I already. Yeah, I want to get your perspective on that and see what it is you think about the video that you've just seen. Let me know what you think. I'm going to get on off of here. We've had a great time today. Thank you guys so much for joining us. Special shout out to Pastor Gary. Sorry we had to kind of end abruptly, but you know what he didn't see, and I'm sure he's going to feel how he wants to feel, but what he didn't see is me. I said 15 times we were around the third base, and so maybe we'll have our guest on a little bit earlier while we have a little bit more time and energy. But we're around the third base, and so unfortunately I didn't have a lot of bandwidth for the soliloquies that normally are completely okay, but it didn't have the bandwidth today. Nevertheless, thank you guys so much for hanging out with us, and we will see you all next time. Thank you for watching Chip in the Mornings.